Hello everybody, it's Ben here again. I'm here to do another flip cup tonight. So I am going to do a reds and oranges, which is a little bit difficult for me because I find orange is kind of like a nemesis to me. I find it a difficult colour to actually use. It seems to... I just find it becomes very orangey, but I'm going to try it anyway. So I'm using a Marte Brilliant Red in one of them, and the rest are eraldo, so I've got a cool red as well. So I'm going to put 2 reds in, just so hopefully that means there's not so much orange. I've got my old Global Orange and my old Global Cool Yellow. So the difference of today is they're all transparent. Oh, and I've got black. They're all transparent apart from the black should be an opaque. So it's going to be a different one. But that's the fun. See how it turns out. Normally when I put orange in things I end up getting a big mess. But oh well. See how it goes. So to start off, I'm going to do 2 cups. I have sprayed them with silicone, WD-40 silicone lubricant, and then just wipe it out. So I was taught to do that because then it makes the paint come off the bottom of the cup, which is good. So I reckon, and I've mixed my paints mostly 1-to-1 with Elmer's clear glue, 70% to 30% water. A couple of them I've actually had to add a little bit extra in. I find especially with my older paints, they've just gone a bit thicker over time. So, and I added a few drops of water just to even them all out, so they should be roughly the right consistency. And here I go. See how it all works out. So this is the cool red. Then I'm going to put a little bit of black in. I'm not going to overdo it with the black. I think I need something in there to give a little bit of difference, but I don't want too much of it. Then this is the Marte Brilliant Red. So, just going to see how it all goes. I like just having fun and seeing how it all turns out. The orange. I didn't want to have a lot of orange in it because, like I said, it really... I think when you're using reds and yellows, you're going to get orange as well anyway. So when you do a red, orange and a yellow, you seem to get a lot of orange come out. Just because they all mix. Yeah, so the last few times I've done these colours, I just don't always have the best luck, but I'm getting a bit better with my pouring lately. So I'm hoping that I've worked out a few of the kinks and that I might actually be able to get something that's a little bit more to my liking. And if not, oh well, not the end of the world, just a bit of fun. Something to do to chill out after, well, today I didn't have work or anything, but I think all day about what I want to paint, and at the end of the day I just do a paint. So I'm finding this bit a little bit easier because I normally only use the thinner pot sticks. But I managed to get some of these bigger ones. And it is actually a lot easier with them. I just like value for money. So I get the small ones because I get more use. Well, costs me less. But I am going to order some plastic ones that I can reuse. But as everything when you order things, it takes time for them to arrive. So I have to wait for them to turn up. But so far the colours are actually looking alright. It's not looking too orangey in the cups. I am going to have to put a little bit more of my last colour in the other cup because this one on this side that I'm filling now is a little bit more full. It really doesn't matter a lot, but I'm trying to keep it a bit more even. And I was getting a few bubbles when I do the last scrape. So yeah, more yellow there. Last of it in this cup. And as always, if you don't like this bit where I'm just talking about what I'm going to do, just fast forward. And it'd be really good if you could subscribe. That way you can see when I do a new pour. At the moment it's winter, it gets dark, so I've got more time inside, so I'm tending to do one each evening approximately. Sometimes it's a couple of times a week, sometimes it's a bit more. So that's how they're looking. So we'll see how this turns out. Now I've got to put my gloves on. So I do my pouring over an empty tub lid. So that way any of the paint that goes over the edge just ends up going into this plastic lid. Once it's dried, it just peels off like a skin. At the moment, being winter, I'm finding it's not the paint I did from my painting either 1 or 2 days ago is still wet on there, so I haven't been able to peel it off. But it doesn't affect anything I do because it's on the push pins. Alrighty, I think we're ready to go. So let's let's see if I can get these colours to work out. Alrighty, and as we can see, paint's all coming off because I sprayed it with the silicone. It's all dripping from the bottom of the containers down, which I like. Less paint wasted. I usually just leave them there for 30 seconds to a minute. I'd probably leave it there a little bit longer if I was not on camera, but I'd try not to waste too much time with just having cups on a board. Alrighty, that's mostly done. Let's see how this goes. Okay. 1, 2. Yeah, I'll end up pouring this off, but if I get it on the edges, then I know that they're at least covered, and so it helps the paint slide a little bit. But I usually tilt all of this off because it's a bit too stripy. that's one done. I really need to make myself a bigger work area. And number 2. All of these had 2 drops of silicone in it, except for, I think the yellow I did 3 and the cool red I did 3 because they were both, they ended up having more paint in them. But these little cups here are, it says 9 Oz. I think it's around 200 grams, I'm not sure, and they weren't completely full. So that's how much paint I use, and this is a 12 by 16 sized canvas. Oops, I shouldn't have put that over the canvas. Well, that's come out with a huge amount of cells already, and this side hasn't so much. So, do I torch or do I move it a little bit? Kind of not as even. I kind of should have had them both roughly at the same spot. I'm probably going to give it a little bit of a torch, just so I can get something to come up. I also just want to pop the bubbles because there was a lot of air bubbles. Yeah, I can see a lot of the air bubbles popping now. There we go. Okay, now the fun bit, tilting. So a couple of these cups are in my way, so I'm just gonna move them. There we go, more space. So I'm gonna go down this way. I hope when I do this I don't take his off camera too much. It's just, once I've set up a little bit better area, it might be a bit easier to actually have the camera a bit further away. So I'm just going to quickly tilt over that corner first. Okay. Yeah, see, these cells came up really early. But it's looking a lot better than normal. I find I often get a lot of orange, and that's why I tried not to put too much orange in it. But the cells came up really quickly, so I think I'm going to end up stretching them out a little bit more than I plan. Whoops, I think I'm still taking you off camera. I'm trying to hold it so you guys can see. I think I'm not going to do too much once I get this over this corner. Yeah, there we go. So now I'm just trying to tilt it back downwards so it's a little bit more even. But I think that's all I'm going to do. If I do it too much more, I'm going to get these here stretched out way too far. I'm still learning how to do it so I'm not overstretching things. But I don't mind that. There's orange in it, but it's not overly orange. So I've got some reds and that down here with the darker colours, and then this side's quite light and yellowy, but it's not bad. I've been doing my mixes a little bit thicker because I think I was doing them too thin, and that was what was giving me probably muddying up the colours a little bit more than I'd liked. So I'm just wiping my hands because when I take my gloves off they're covered in powder and powder goes off everywhere. So I'm just going to wipe my hands now. Now I can see some air bubbles still. I think I can see a lot. So I want to go over it with the torch, but on a really low heat, because I just want to pop the bubbles. Yeah, I'm going to get more cells. I can't do much about that. Hopefully they don't overgrow and they just stay quite small. But if I can just pop these bubbles, alright, so really it's brought up a lot of cells there and a lot of cells up here and even down through that section. But I don't mind that. I'm quite pleased. I just have to get my tweezers out because there's something here and I don't know what it is. I thought it was a bubble and it's not. Again, I don't think I'm actually grabbing it properly. There's still something in there. There we go. I got it. Some of the older paints end up having a little bit of a globby bit in there somewhere. But I'm definitely getting a lot more happy with how my work's turning out. I feel like I'm learning a lot more as I've gone along. So now I'm just going to check the back. And this corner just had a tiny little bit missing. This side has got a little bit missing. But it's not the whole corner, it's just a tiny bit of the corner, so it's not too bad. I just put a little bit of paint on it. Okay, that corner's good. That corner and that side are good. Excellent. That's actually turned out really well. So I don't know if sometimes I end up doing this off camera afterwards, but I'm just scraping the bottom from the sides so the paint doesn't keep pulling and making more. It pulls the paint off the side and ends up stretching the corners, well, the sides even more than what I normally have it. So I just get my knife and just run it down and then just scrape it off and give it a wipe. So there. That's actually it. It took me so much more time to actually set up than it is actually to finish. So, again, still turns out to be an 18-minute video. So I'm just going to bring the camera down. This is where it gets a little bit wonky for a second and spin it around. So, where are we? Can we get the whole thing in? Alright. So that's the whole picture. I'm liking that. That's a lot more red and a lot less orange. And then we'll go down. So this is where I had to pop a lot of the bubbles. So you can see that there was cells, but then I ended up getting quite a few of the little cells. And again through this area here. But I like it. It's looking quite lava-like in my eyes. My light does seem to make everything a little bit different colours to what I can see. So definitely not as fiery colours because of my light. I think it just alters things too much. But I take photos with my camera because that seems to give me a much better representation of what I can see. So there we go. This is my lava colours flip cup and I am super happy with it. Alright, thanks for sharing with me everyone. Subscribe if you want to see more and have a good night. Catch us later.